Welcome to the City of Tempe Board of Adjustment meeting for November 20th, 2024. The time is now 6 p.m. The City of Tempe Board of Adjustment is authorized by the Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning Code, zoning ordinance. Its function is to grant relief where a literal enforcement of the zoning ordinance would result in an unnecessary property hardship, to interpret provisions of the zoning ordinance, variances, and to hear appeals from any person or city official aggrieved by the decision of a person responsible for the enforcement of the zoning ordinance, the zoning administrator, and hearing officer abatements. The board has the City of Tempe Community Development staff summary reports on the items being considered at this meeting, and will use this report in their deliberations. We're going to do roll call starting from my right.
Here, Michael McCaffrey.
Press the...
Michael McCaffrey, here.
Robert Miller, here.
Kevin Morrow is here.
Ron Kegi here.
Ricky Lynn is here.
Sean McCarley here.
And do we have...
Mary Foy here.
We do have Mary here virtually. Some staff introductions. We have Jeff Tamulevich, Director of Community Development. Ryan Levake, I'm going to get it right this time, the Deputy Director of Community Development. Diana Kaminsky, Principal Planner, Community Development. Whitney Mayfield, Planner. Jennifer Daniels, our Administrative Assistant. And Jason Wolf on Media. And Mr. Mansfield from the City Attorney's Office. You weren't on my list, but you are here.
Thank you for thinking of me.
During the hearing, all applicants and interested citizens, when your request is called, or if you wish to address the board, please make sure you have filled out a citizen request form located. Probably talk to Jennifer about that. And then when I do a call to the audience, you can step up to the microphone, state your name and city of residence. And for members of the public, you'll be given 3 minutes to speak. And staff will monitor the speaking time with the 3 blinking lights. Agenda items. So we have 3 items on the agenda. Consideration of meeting minutes for our meeting for October 30th, 2024. A variance request for the, I'm going to try my best, the Rothermel shade structure. And then 3 is chair and staff updates and announcements. So first item, minutes from our October meeting, which were kind of long. It was a long meeting, as I recall. Do I have any comments, criticisms, praise regarding the minutes? I mean, whoever does the minutes does a great job. I don't envy you. Do I have a motion regarding the minutes?
So moved.
What is the motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
I have a second.
I have a second from Mr. McCaffrey. All those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
Abstain.
Oh, 2 abstentions, 5 yeses, 0 nays. So the motion carries. Second item is the, I gotta find it on my chart. The second item will be the Rothermel shade structure variance request. Do we know where the meeting? Oh, page 10. Okay, so this is a request for a variance to reduce the required front yard open structure setback from 15 feet to 1 foot, and a variance to reduce the required side yard setback from 5 feet to 3 feet to allow for a detached shade structure for the Rothermel shade structure located at 509 West 15th Street. The applicant is Frida Rothermel. Did I do it? Okay. So this is your chance to address us. I'm batting about 500 on my pronunciations.
No worries.
this year.
Hi, I'm Frida Rothermel. I live at 509 West 15th Street with my husband. We are both longtime Tempe residents. I've lived at the house since '91 when we got married, and Tom bought the house in 1980 after graduating from ASU. In our 40 years of ownership, we have always tried to enhance our property In 1992, we actually remodeled our house with Bonnie Richardson being the architect. We have always tried to include form, beauty, and connectivity with our neighbors also as we design things. As you know, the summers are getting longer and hotter, and so last summer we added a front yard shade structure. So you said with the clicker or with?
I have it here. First slide there.
Okay. I'm just skipping ahead to the picture of the front of our house facing south, and then looking from kind of the front door down our driveway facing north. So when you're looking facing south, you can see we placed the shade structure just over the existing driveway. And the reason we need the variance is because with the 15 feet, those front posts would be actually past the driveway by 2 feet. So there would be no room for a shade structure. The shade structure could be probably 2 or 3 feet. It would be kind of in that little rock area with the bush that says facing north. So this has been an interesting process, and I want to really thank Whitney for being so patient with me and taking me through the process. And I know she has more slides that kind of explain all the different details of the shade structure, but I appreciate your time and your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, and then we'll hear from
I'll leave it there.
Whitney Mayfield, Planner 2 from the city.
Good evening, Chair and board members. Whitney Mayfield, City of Tempe Community Development Planner. So I will be presenting on the Rothermill shade structure. It is located in an R16 zoned single-family residential neighborhood that is southeast of 13th Street in Roosevelt. And the home is a part of the Campus Homes subdivision. And this request is to reduce the front open structure setbacks from 15 feet to 1 foot, and then to also reduce the west side setback from 5 feet to 3 feet. And this will allow a detached shade structure in the driveway that's located at the residence. So as I stated earlier, it is located in an R16 zoned neighborhood, and the front setbacks are 20 feet, and the front open structure setback is 15 feet, while the side setback is 5 feet. All right, and I'm going to actually go back to the slide. So on the site plan, it'll show, well, I'll go back to this one. On the site plan, it shows that the concrete driveway is 17 feet wide and 22 feet long, with 10 feet of it extending into the right-of-way. And then the structural columns are located about 1 foot south of the front property line, and then 3 feet and 6 inches from the west property line. And then the top of it, you'll see in the design shows an open trellis design, and the structure is approximately 7 feet in height. And then the space that is south of the structure is filled with landscaping that will be shown on the next slide. So you'll see in the photo that is labeled facing north, you'll see that there's some tile that's right above there, but a little bit of landscaping. And these are measurements of, this just shows where the property line is, so that yellow line indicates where the property line is. And this is a view of the property looking east, just showing that front property line, showing how close it is, that 1 foot distance. And these are just showing side views. All right, so just going over the approval criteria, the special circumstance with this residence is that in this neighborhood, much of the homes, many of the homes have 10 feet of the property in the right-of-way, and it reduces the amount of space that allows them to build a structure and that's in compliance with code. And I'm actually going to flip back to this slide that shows the setbacks measured. So you'll see the setback that's the furthest east. That's the front setback, the front wall, building wall setback. And then the one in the middle is the front open structure setback, while the very west line indicates the west setback or the side setback. And then with the second approval criteria, it just talks about the strict application of this code and how if it will deprive the property of any privileges enjoyed by other properties in the area. And in this case, there are 2 variances that were approved with similar requests to reduce the setback to allow structures in the front yard. And on the second slide, you'll see that those structures are near the site, the property site, and then there's some photos that are below. But the requests are pretty similar. With the third criteria, it discusses that granting this variance would or would not allow any special privileges that are inconsistent with the limitations upon the other properties in the vicinity. And as I stated before, there are some other variances that are in that neighborhood that have been approved with similar requests. And then with the last one, so with strict adherence of the zoning and development codes, it would actually deny many of the homeowners in the campus home subdivision a shade structure because at least 10 feet of the property line, 10 feet of their property is in the right of way. And the property does when we're looking at the lot, it does meet the width standards. But with this request, there would be the variance, the request to reduce the side setbacks could be viewed as self-imposed, but it is likely what's not self-imposed is the request for the front, because the way, the fact that the property line, the property is, there's 10 feet of the property in the right-of-way, it inadvertently creates a shallow depth for the driveway and the need for this variance request. And then with this request, it does require a neighborhood meeting. And this neighborhood meeting was held at Frida's property on September 30th. I was not in attendance of that, but our principal planner, Diana Kamensky, was, along with 7 of the other residents in the neighborhood. And then with the 7 that were in attendance, they were in support, and to date, we've only received 3 public comments in support and no comments in opposition. And so with that presentation, staff is recommending approval subject to standard conditions as shown on the screen. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any, but does any other member of the board have a question?
No.
Mary, do you have any questions?
No questions.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
At this time, are there any members of the audience who would like to speak? Do we have any comment cards, Jennifer? We have none. Is there anything else that the applicant feels needs to be added? With that, is there any comment from the board? Do I have a motion?
I would move approval of the variance as requested with the conditions as specified.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. The motion carries 7-0. The variance is approved with the conditions stated. And I will add that I find it aesthetically pleasing, so. Third item, if I can find my agenda, is any staff updates and announcements. We don't have a meeting in December, it sounds like. So January what, 22nd. I also neglected to mention that this is Mr. McCaffrey's first in-person meeting with the board. He did great.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Chairman.
Mary, thank you for being able to make it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
You're welcome.
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn from Dr. Miller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. McCaffrey. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The opinion of the chair. 7-0, the ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Congratulations.